Two people wandering around the tracks of Europe looking for a podcast that suits their needs. Oli Meggitt and Martin Southall are those two people. With the ability to chat shit about RC cars for less than an hour with their bare hands. The Bench Chassis Podcast. The podcast with no name. Except for that one.
All right, it's time for another podcast. It's been a very, very busy few weeks.
Yes, it has indeed. We've both spent the best part of a week in Slovakia for the ETS at Huddy Arena, and then you were at the latest round of the BRCA Touring Car Nationals this weekend. So it's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I was indeed. So there's plenty of stuff to talk about. It's also that time as well when, despite it still being the wonderful summer weather, it's been time to start planning the winter season already. So some discuss there. I'm keeping that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I suppose that is quite timed as well, because we're at the point where the entries for RugRacers and EWS are going to be opening very, very shortly. So I think it's worth us sort of having a look towards the time when it's a bit cooler in there as well. So for this one then, I think it's just going to be us. No guests this time. Let's jump into it then. It's the Bench Chassis On-Road podcast. It's episode 15. Let's find out who's bent a chassis in the last couple of weeks.
This is the Bench Chassis Podcast. And now, a bit more from a cut price Scotty, that's Oli Meggitt, and a cut price Tottenham supporter, that is Martin Southall. Over to you, boys.
Right, let's kick things off then with the ETS race in the wonderful Huddy Arena in Slovakia a couple of weeks ago. As always, we're not just going to sit here and read off the results. We're going to chat about what we saw as two people who were there in the pits through the whole event, doing various things. You mechanicking and your son racing, me doing a bit of racing and doing a bit of other stuff as well. So yeah, let's kick off, I suppose, with the impressive venue. And both of us have been there before, but obviously not for a number of years. And yeah, what was your memories? What was your reaction as you walked back through the door the first time?
Oh, the venue's incredible. Yeah, you just walk through them doors and it's like nothing you experience anywhere else on the planet. You know, whatever buildings you walk in where you go through a set of automatic doors, you know, and straight in front of you. I mean, it's a reception desk, I know, but it's not. It's really where they do the tech and stuff. And then you can see the track, and then you look to the right and you've got the incredible pitting area as well in between. And then most people, if you haven't been before, know that first part there, that's X-ray. And the last time I was in the Huddy Arena, that's where I was sitting. So it wasn't anymore. You're then in with the everybody else's, but you weren't wanting for anything, space, food, anything really. It's absolutely incredible, that place, and it still blows me away every time. Did you do the tour again this time, or?
I didn't unfortunately, because Thursday ended up being quite busy, and I didn't realise that was the only day they were going to be doing the tours, the factory tours, that one. Otherwise I would have tried to make sure I found a way to get on them, but no, yeah, missed out on that. So that's definitely something that I'm putting on the list for next year. So hopefully we go back there for ETS again. I think that's definitely on the cards. But yeah, I know, I agree. It's that sort of, the wow factor is still definitely there as you go into the venue, and like you say, they really kind of, it's the attention to detail that's there. And you know, we talk a lot about facilities around the world and things like that, but it's stuff like you're in there, and you know, things like bins being emptied every day, toilets being cleaned regularly through the day, stuff like, it's the small stuff like that you kind of just see out the corner of your eye going on, and you know, it just makes things so much nicer for you as a racer before you even start talking about, you know, the really well kind of kitted out and stocked food and everything that you've got there as well. So it's great. Aside from Thursday, weather was really good, which I think definitely always helps with the racing, makes the mood that bit better in the pits as well. And yeah, some really good track conditions certainly by Friday evening from then on, and some good racing on the track too.
I even thought though, with the weather, it wasn't like we've been before and you're sitting under like a gazebo or something like that in the wet, bit miserable, and nothing's going on. It didn't matter. The break was actually really nice. It was like groups of people just standing around, talking to each other, engaging with whatever. And in between that, it was like, oh, cool, we can go racing now. And I mean, kudos to you as well, because you obviously on the organizer. Scotty didn't get there until very, very late. So I know you were the
Yeah.
man in command for a fair bit of that as well. So props for that. Well done. Obviously a big stand-in with a very complicated schedule, but
Yeah.
no racing got lost. No one lost time.
No.
And that was really impressive because, like a few others, I thought, oh, they might just drop a round of like practice or drop one of the seeding rounds and just go from there. But no, they just run the schedule a little bit longer and everything ran perfectly.
Yeah.
Other than the weather interruptions. I thought, Christ, if we'd have got through on time, we'd have been out of the building like 6 o'clock each evening trying to find somewhere else to eat.
Yeah. No, it was Thursday was a bit of a challenge for me. I won't lie. With the weather, we knew that weather sort of was looking mixed. So there was a few options we had. And I think it was good. And sitting with Uwe, with Hartmut, with Patrick to kind of work through some different options on Thursday. And it was the honest discussion of going, are we comfortable to do a whatever it was 7:30 start and 8 o'clock finish for the next couple of days, and then we can get in all the racing that we want to get in for everybody. And I think actually when you sit down and look at it, go, well, if everyone's had a fairly relaxed day on Thursday, I think it's, in my mind, it was a situation of saying, if you flip it around and say, well, okay, so we're not going to start till 9 o'clock each day and finish at 7, and you sit and go, well, why could we have not started earlier and get those extra rounds? And absolutely right. The easy thing would just be to cut one of the rounds out. But yeah, so I think that worked out really well, and definitely it was definitely a different atmosphere to what we've seen at other races, and kind of reflecting this with Uwe as well in particular, that during those rain delays there wasn't the normal, what we doing, what we sitting around waiting for, blah blah blah. There was still a really good atmosphere the whole time during that, and that's not okay. If we look at like UK racing, we're sitting under a gazebo which has got a leak in it or something like that, and you're sitting on some soggy grass. But even if you compare it to like say an Appledorn or Eigen, where we've had some rain in the last few years, that that's where it's and they've got fully covered pit facilities and things as well. So I don't know. I think everyone's just really happy to get back to the Huddy Arena, and I think it sort of validates the thing that we've been talking about over the last couple of years with the ETS crew, which is actually having a break from some of these really good tracks isn't a bad thing, because then that time when you go back in a few years, and maybe the break for Huddy Arena's been a bit longer than it should have been, but actually suddenly it's that reset button. It's almost like it's the first time we've all been here and everyone's really excited again to go there. So I definitely think there's something to be said of saying, as good as a track is, having it have a pause from the schedule for a year or two maybe isn't a bad thing, because it does just sort of build up that atmosphere when you want to go back there again.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Is that the line? Yeah, I can't agree. I mean, I went through most of the menu. The food, fantastic there though, isn't it? Where else can you walk upstairs in that cafe, and we did every morning, went in and got our tea, or coffee rather, because I don't really drink tea when I'm abroad, and croissants in the morning, fresh croissants that are coming in every day, and you can sit outside and watch the racing take place on the patios or inside by the windows if you so wished, and the food's brilliant. I mean, we ate there all the time, right up until they were effectively stopped feeding in the evening, and then we'd be there late at the track. And then probably like most people, it would seem that when you were leaving at around like 9-ish, most people are in McDonald's just outside as well. It was basically like the Huddy Arena had just transferred to McDonald's mostly. And then back home and then back in the morning. But I don't think there's enough words to describe how good it was to be there, how good it felt to be back there, and how good the atmosphere was for the whole event from start to finish, up and down the classes all through the field. It was just a really, really good event. Really, really good event. I was well happy with that one.
Yeah, and I think the crew there did a great job as well.
Sensational, yeah.
The tech process in my mind worked exactly how I think it should work. It was the right level of they're doing the checks properly, but not being overzealous with things, which I think is what all the racers want. So from my perspectives, I think that was really good. And then the track crew, when we sort of said, okay, if we do this, we're going to have to do a 7:30, 8 o'clock start the next few days. Right. And it was, Mattis there was like, right, so you want me to sugar the track at 6:30? And we're like, is that okay? It's like, if you want to be here at 5:30, I'll be here at 5:30. And I was like, okay, great. So that's the kind of commitment you get from them, and I think that's really, that makes it really special. Everything is everything's prepared properly.
I like the effort as well, as you were going through all the text and everything towards the end of the day, and everyone going around thanking everybody wearing a hoodie arena shirt for everything they did for us. Because you said you just wanted for nothing that was going on that weekend. I'm really, really looking forward to going back again. I hope it's on the calendar next year.
Yeah.
And if it is, I will be one of those on my RCM. I'm probably going to race next year as well. I really feel like I should do that, because for the times I've been, I've never put a car on the track there.
It's I'm not going to lie, it's not my favourite track layout to race on, but you've got really consistent grip for it all. Obviously, that's massively affected by the weather conditions, but they treat the track properly, they look after the track really well, so that's the best grip you're going to get, and it makes it sort of feel really consistent. The back straight kink, that is scary, especially in modified.
I saw some car utter destruction. I mean, we saw.
Did you see some bent chassis?
I should have. I was tempted to take a photo, but when you take photos and you put anything up like that, they're always construed the wrong way. It's like you're trying to highlight, this is defective or it's not.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, I mean, we saw Lauter had a big off that destroyed a race car. Robin, the guy that was sitting next to us, destroyed his in leg 3, and he went off on the kink mid-height backwards into a fence. So what's got to be 60, 70 miles an hour?
Do you want to know the funny part about that? Was Rob from Netherlands, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah. Robin. I can't remember Vizjet. I don't want to butcher his name, but he's a really nice guy.
I was standing on the back straight at that time with Ronald, and we were standing at a point just after the kink where we went, this might be a slightly dangerous place to stand, mightn't it? It was like, yeah, it might be. And the next lap, he came through and hit that into the fence, literally in front of our legs, and we're like,
oh, so you picked up the car then?
No, we ran away.
Oh, well, I can understand why you ran away, because lots of parts were dispatched. They weren't in the car anymore, and he brought the thing back, and that was a bent chassis. I mean, it's a steel chassis on the car, and it was bent upwards and in half. But it's really important to point out that the speed of the impact that had. There's no car out there that's surviving anything like that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
And the car was absolutely destroyed. His was one of many, many cars that were destroyed over the weekend. And if you get it wrong, it's expensive.
Yeah, but it's such a nice challenge, and it's so thrilling when you do get it right as well.
Yes.
So it's tough, and sometimes you're like, is that the best thing? But like, no, when you get it right through there, you're like, no, that is really cool to do that. So
and everyone gets it wrong. Even the best get it wrong sometimes, and we saw that as well.
Yeah.
And that is, like you say, that's the high risk, high reward stakes we're racing in. But there was definitely some bent. Bent, is that the right word? Utterly destroyed. It really is. Yeah, I mean, let's just put it this way: you wasn't going to panel beat that one back into shape and use them again.
No,
but I think that's part of the challenge, as you say. But no complaints other than running. And I know what you're saying for the run there, because I was standing with Matthew Dambreen. He was marshalling that point there when the car crashed next to him, and that was a run for the hills job as well.
Yeah,
high risk, high reward.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
Yes, go on. Results, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did we see on the track, really? Start off with modified, and Michał being the class of the field. Just had... It was... I think everyone sort of went into it expecting it to be him and Bruno at the front. And from the early practices, that's what it looked like. I think Michał was a little bit further ahead than everyone thought, and probably even Bruno thought he was going to be, and actually Michał thought was probably further ahead than he thought he might be as well at this one. So they'd done their homework. I know that he was obviously off racing the e-buggy Euros the previous week, so didn't actually get to go and do the sort of testing that the others did. So I think that's quite a impressive sort of result then, given that obviously he relied on the data from Mattia. He got Mattia to go there for the warm-up race the weekend before, but then to be able to. It shows the class of driver to be able to rock up at a track that he hasn't been to in at least 5-6 years or something, and only having 4 practice runs, and has got the pace to beat the people that have been there for 3 days the previous weekend.
And a lifetime previously as well for Bruno.
Yeah.
I mean, that pace, it looked like it was Bruno was behind but it looked like he was gathering momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And in Q1, when they went off out the gates, I believe Bruno took the lead anyway over the first few laps, and he made a mistake. And then he landed the thing, and he's like a long way back. The run's done, but it was like he needed to put down. It felt like he wanted to put down a statement here that I can get back this time. And for about 2-3 laps, he smashed these times in, and you thought, oh, hello. And then it didn't happen. And then Orlowski just breezed away at that point, and he just opened and extended the gap further. And it was like, and then you kind of felt everyone go, ooh, there's something on here. And then, like you said, after that, it was just total control for Michael. He could run at the front on every run and extend on each run as well. And then ultimately, that's how the finals played out as well. Yeah. But my favourite, third place.
Third place, yes, Alexander Hagberg. I don't think anybody, and let's be honest, X-Ray has definitely got its fans and its haters as well. I don't think anybody was disappointed or upset in any way to see Alexander back on the podium and a really sort of solid third place result. And I think it was close for best of the rest, but I think it looked from after Q1, it's probably going to be him in third place.
Yeah, because he didn't seed well either.
No.
So that was the first surprise of the weekend. But then, when you watched his runs unfold when I was watching seeding, he was very top of the timesheets.
Yeah.
In qualifying, and then he qualified the car third, and depending on where you were standing, but you can see how happy he was on the rostrum and how happy everybody was for him as well. It was a warm round of applause, huge congratulations from probably every single person he walked through in the whole building, and thoroughly deserves. Really pleased for him. He's one of the nicest guys in RC.
Absolutely, and one of those real professionals, and I think we've often said, and certainly say in the pits, one of the best.
Ambassadors,
that's the word. Yes. And certainly everyone knows the videos and things that he does and how helpful those are, regardless of the brand of car that you drive or whatever, electronics, whatever it might be. And I think it'd be really good if we can get to chat to him in the next few weeks as well, but I don't think it would be unfair to say that seems to have been missing some pace over the last few years, to be honest. And actually I hope this is a real good example of he's still got the speed in him. He's still got that pace. And, now this is a bit of a boost for his confidence as well to kind of come back and fight more in the next races as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree. It's good to see people up there. So I think it's a feel good for the people watching as well. A bit like, Lauter at Appledorn, how well that was going and how unfortunate that was. And it was popular. And it's not, we're not saying it's popular because people don't like these other guys, but it's always good to see other people getting that shot as well. Again.
It's that classic thing, and you see it in all sports, really, don't you? Everyone's happy for a new driver, a new team, whatever, to get to the top of something, and then when they're still there year after year, that's when you sort of lose it's going to be them again winning it. Whether it's a football team keeps winning the Premier League, or it's Lewis Hamilton winning all those championships in a row, then Max Verstappen winning all the championships in a row. That's when you're like, okay, when's the next person going to come along that's going to excite us now? And I think, in Simon, you've definitely seen that over the last few years. Now we've got Alexander kind of getting back on point as well. And I think it's going to be really exciting. We're going to the last of the asphalt races for ETS and go to Andernach, again, a track we've not been to for a number of years. So that has the opportunity to shake things up. And it's going to be a totally different circuit again, with that one being a much more technical track. I think it could be anybody. I'd argue winning it as well as making those podium steps. You'd still expect it to be the Michael and Bruno show at the front, but I think you've clearly got a third place spot on the podium very much open. At the moment, you'd say it's Alexander, Simon, Mark, Ronald, those people kind of in the mix as well. I'm probably forgetting someone there who's going to shout at me later.
Quite possibly.
But Victor Wilk was really strong there in Huddy Arena. Ended up, he qualified fifth and finished fifth or sixth overall. So it's nice to see some of those names coming back again. Like Alexander and Victor, who have been at the front of the field and had a bit of time away from the front of the field. But also nice to see people like Simon really stepping up and moving up and really consistently fighting out with the top dogs.
Yeah, it's nice to watch a race and you're not sure what the podium's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's also worth saying on the point there, and we're talking about the up and comings, but there's no discounting that Ronald was quick as well. He had good runs in the finals, and then Mark looked like he'd unlocked something by the finals as well, because he moved forward really, really well as well. So, it's not like they're fading away by any stretch of the imagination. Just a mild blip or a hiatus, but if you're off the throttle for a tenth of a second, they're going to be right back there, and they look like every bit getting back there as well.
It's I think if you sort of looked at it, even if you include including the top two as well, 5 seconds was going to put you 9th or something.
Yeah, mental.
And if you're at the right end of that 5 seconds, which is 1 second per minute you're trying to find, which is 0.2, 0.3 a lap, which is nothing per corner then. And
that's about the 1 second per lap you were looking for.
More than one second per lap. I think that to me is the excuse as how hard that track is to master as well, because I like to try and have a target of being by the end of the race event. If I can get my hot lap to within 1 to 1.5 seconds of the absolute top guys, then I think that's a good achievement. And that sort of plays out pretty much every event I go to, whether it's a UK race or an international race. But this time, I was over 2 seconds off, and there was, that was it. That was all we had.
Oh, I watched a lot of your runs as well. I mean, you paid for the whole racetrack, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, although they've painted all those curbs as well.
They did.
They painted all the white lines. It's a shame not to use them.
So how much red and white did you have to clean off the bottom of your chassis?
The red and white wasn't the problem. It's the grass and things off the bottom of the chassis. That's the problem.
Did you break your car at all, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Once. Yeah. Really, really. I'll say it then. Racing driver book of excuses. Insert new page at the back, please. A wasp flew around my head, and therefore distracted me. And I had a slightly pathetic run wide on the corner, tapped one of the walls, and broke one of the ball studs.
Do you know what? It's not the worst excuse. I've heard that one before. I witnessed it actually. Nick Upton from our club at West London a good number of years ago now. He was driving down the straight and a wasp flew around, and he saw in his best thoughts to remove his right hand from his stick transmitter to wave this wasp away, and failed to release the throttle. And it took a few people to pull the car out from under the Armco at the end of the straight as it went directly in. It was quite broken.
Yeah.
So we called him Wasp for a while, which has subsided. So it's either taken from that book of excuses, but I've seen it happen, and appreciate that you were lucky you only lost a ball stud, really.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Should we look at stock?
Yeah. Why not? Yep. So Jan Withajski, actually, again, another good news story, I think, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Jan taking the win there.
He's been off the top for a while.
Again, it's the same sort of story, isn't it? Someone who's a good character in the pits and liked by a lot of people. A little bit of time away from the top of the pile, but during that time he stayed in the mix. And what we're talking about here is not been on the pace, but that pace has been 2 seconds over 5 minutes off, and that's put him 5th, 6th, 7th or something. And now it all clicked again this weekend. Took TQ, and that gave him the win. We'll talk about the battle for second place between Oli Baltink and Adam Issei. That collision in A3 between the two of them, which is A2, wasn't it? That's all gone around the internet a lot. So
that's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, everyone can see it and make their own judgment. And as someone said on here before, Anish, you are the guy piloting that car at the very front end under that kind of pressure. It's hard to comment. It's also hard to deny what the video shows as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing you can pretty much be sure of, he didn't smash into the back of him deliberately.
No. So it's one of those things that happens in racing. In the nice way, they're big boys. They'll get over it. They'll have a talk, I expect, and they'll go and fight it out of the next race. I'm
sure. I mean, I think it kind of, on the stock side, if you're following it closely, it kind of started going a little bit wrong. I think it was Q3 or Q4, and Yaroslav, the other young X-Ray driver, and you could see they were doing something with their tyres. They were all supposed to run them at a certain point, and Yaroslav was looking like he was on for the TQ for the round he was on before he made a mistake late in the run and ended it, which would have, I think, from probably what they were trying to do, would have given X-Ray the 1, 2, 3 on the podium because Baltic took it. So that was the only thing that really changed up the order, but it gave us some good racing.
Yeah.
Through the field again. The stock field was incredibly close. But I didn't realise how close it was until after the event, from the top all the way down, because there was a stacked stock field. And you were looking down and you were going through the D final, the E final, down to the F, and you got ETS podiums going all the way through there. And it was only a few seconds as well. It was incredible.
Yeah, I've just
opened
up and seen, if we're looking, what some of Jan's TQ time in round 2, 16.505, 20th place was a 5:11. So 6 seconds is 20 places.
Yeah. That was how close it was, and that went all the way through the field.
Yeah.
The new tyre run was critically important.
Yeah.
The temperature, because it was hotter in the UK. So the cooler temperatures were helpful for some chassis manufacturers.
Yeah.
And it did help us because we, for whatever team we was on, that we were better equipped to deal with the cooler conditions. Yeah. And that played a part in it as well. But, if you made an error on your new tyre run, it was done, it was finished. You were nowhere.
Yeah.
Over the whole weekend. But, it was great to see Jan win. Really, really pleased to see him win again. And that was high fives from everybody, everywhere, I think, as well.
Yeah. No, definitely
such a nice guy.
Yep. And worth us touching quickly on front wheel drive as well, I suppose.
Yeah, we can do. Robin van Gogh took the win there. That was some very, very close running. Obviously, Schumacher there. I mean, that was a surprise. The Schumacher at X-Ray's house, getting the job done. And Gergo was he second or third? I think he
ended up third overall.
Yeah.
Kevin was second.
And where he qualified, so it was a Schumacher from an Automatics from an X-Ray. So it wasn't really what we expected to see, but it was, and I think the temperature certainly played into it. So well done on Robin. It felt like a bit of for him good karma from what happened at Appledore, because everything was really his and under his control, and it was taken away. And it wasn't so much at the Huddy Arena. He was class.
Yeah, definitely. So, next stop on the ETS tour is Andernach in mid-September. So
you'll be at that one.
I will be at that one. Yeah, I will indeed.
Unfortunately, will not. So you'll be providing the all the feedback from that one.
I will do the behind-the-scenes info for that one.
Yes,
and. So again, well done to all the Huddy Arena guys. Well done to the ETS crew for another fantastic event. And on to the next one.
On to the next one. Well done. Thank you. And we'll be right back.
This is the Bent Chassis Podcast with Oli and Martin, sponsored by BQ Racing Products, where being shit is good enough.
So next up on the calendar then was, as we're recording this, yesterday's race at West London for round 4 of the UK Nationals. I wasn't there, but you were, Martin, so I'm going to pick your brains then for this one.
Sure.
Firstly, West London, one of the tracks that everybody knows, has been around in touring cars since pretty much the beginning. And I think, I don't know if that was on the national calendar last year or not. I can't remember. I don't think it was. It's certainly not always on the national list. What was the mood like? What was the event like overall? Firstly,
it was really good. Yeah, that's probably the best way I can describe it. And I know we kind of jokingly said about Mike Haswell's military timekeeping precision and stuff like that, because the man runs he times a great race meeting. So there's no doubt in that. Obviously, Steph was new into the role as well at the weekend, and
so his first race as chairman. His
first race as the chairman. So he didn't go onto the rostrum for qualifying. I'm going to specify why I've said qualifying. To do the refereeing, because he was the boots on the ground. He was walking around the pits, talking to drivers and doing what he needs to do. But more importantly, he made sure the meeting ran well, and it did. It ran really, really well. There was no problems at all. Everything ran as it should do. The information coming out was good. They did do some voltage checks, and information came out of the tannoy system that voltage checks were going on. Make sure you presented in times, and everything ran really, really well. So there was no complaints or faults from that side. The guy in technical inspection, I forgot his name. He was on his own. Wished he'd had two people, but he was there all day. Everything went through so smoothly. The information back to race control. If there was a problem, it was all happening really, really quickly because we were pitted like just behind it, so everything's literally unfolding in front of us. So all in all, it was a really, really good. It was an enjoyable meeting. There was a good buzz around it as well, and I think it was just the walking and the talking and things that were going on around the event. But everyone seemed to be enjoying the racing. And that was very, very encouraging to see. I enjoyed the atmosphere as well around there, and I think from speaking to everybody else, they did as well. We got good racing out of it as a part of that as well. A kudos again though for Steph. He did referee the finals from trackside as well, and he did a really, really good job. It's very difficult to say anything other. He did an excellent job. First time up. Well done, Steph.
Good. So let's talk about the racing on the track. So it's round 4 out of 5 rounds in the series. So firstly, let's touch on front wheel drive to kick this one off, since we did that. We did in reverse order we did for ETS. So Aidan Ripley had already wrapped up the championship with a perfect score across the first 3 events.
Yeah.
And then proud dad moment for you, Ethan Southall got the TQ and the win for this round.
Yeah, his first national win. He did. Yeah, he was looking forward to this one. It's a track. We haven't been much for like a while, but he did this time, and it was good. But there was good competition across all the front wheel drive as well. And if you look at the times for this one, there was a lot of outliers there, on a lot of local guys, so it was a lot closer than it has been at all the other rounds. But ultimately, if they all drove superbly, there was very, very little time in it, and nervous watching aside, it was enjoyable to watch.
And maybe. And maybe we were talking about this before we started recording. Is this perhaps a bit of a start of a resurgence in front wheel drive as well? Again, it's been pretty much booked out for the whole national series, but this one was, as far as was booked out. And I know there were people that were trying to get in as well.
Yes. And
you sort of mentioned the close racing and things through it. So let's hope that continues for at least for the finals, and then when we head into the winter season as well.
I hope so. Yeah, there was drivers I talked to there as well that were like, I really wanted to, come and race, but it was full, so I couldn't book in as well. So hopefully it is a recovery for the class as well. And what was being shown on the racetrack was a good advert for how close front wheel drive racing can be. Yes, there's the pros and cons for the FDR side of things, and it can be a bit more of a qualifying. But we saw in the final, when on a track like West London, where you can clip a curb, you can go a little bit wide, or you can understeer a bit here. Overtakes did take place as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty good advert for it, and hopefully from the talking and the people listening, it picks up further as well.
Sounds good. And moving into stock then.
Yeah.
So championship wasn't decided until going into this round, but Zach Finley, a name that we often talk about in stock racing, from the results point of view, looked like he had the track and the day pretty much to himself. TQ'd every round and won the finals.
Well, yeah, the timesheets don't lie.
What was the story on the track then?
The story on the track was imperious domination. And there's so many different words you can use for Zach's driving. Faultless, incredible, composed, majestic, and without pushing that too much, that's just the way he drives. If you watch his car on a racetrack, it's incredible. The man never misses anything anywhere on the racetrack. He's relentless. So to be close, you've got to be doing something very, very special. And in qualifying, no, he was completely untouchable. When we got to the finals, Billy was able to stay with him at the early part of the race. There was incident behind in leg 1. Now, when I say incident, it's fair to point out at this point that there was no, even though the numbers look shuffled, there wasn't any incidents where drivers had punted anybody off, because Findlay had lined up a good P3 and devastatingly pulled the throttle to leave the line, and the car didn't go anywhere. He got a tiny bit of momentum, but even at his young age as well, he was smart enough to whack the transmitter to the left. Yeah. So the car just literally rolled to the side, but went nowhere. And so that was gutting. So he was out of that. And then an unfortunate spin in the middle from James took a couple of cars behind. And then after that, it was a good recovery. But watching the racing, there wasn't any banging, crashing, door thumping, or anything like that. It was a lot of really good, clean overtakes.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the same story for leg 2 as well. And you saw, I think it was 7th place, Ben Kane. He made it up to the podium. You're not lucky. You're never lucky if you make a podium at a national. He drove clean and kept himself out of trouble, because what was happening, people were losing position because they were making mistakes. They were, hit the curbs, they'd roll over or go wide, which was taking them out of contention. But all in all, I saw 2 really good stock finals, 2 sets of drivers that there was no issues on the racetrack. Everyone drove cleanly, and amongst all that was Zach's imperious domination. And a very, very good second place for Billy, has to be said as well. He definitely found something at the weekend as well. But he was the closest contender in the finals, and everybody else was quite a way back. So yeah, it was good. Well done on Zach for securing yet another championship. I think we worked out, I think it was like 14 or something.
Crikey.
Yeah, well, we was discussing it. We'll talk about EWS as well, actually, because we're pretty sure we was discussing it with him, that I don't think every time he's competed at EWS, he's won every single one of those as well. And every championship he's done enough rounds in.
I've got some stats on that, so we'll cover that in a bit, yes.
We'll get to that in a bit. But again, well done to Zach. He's got it all wrapped up, done and dusted with a round to go, and the car looked incredible. Yeah.
And modified then. So Kyle having to skip both Halifax and West London. I think certainly focusing now on his Nitro Touring Car Worlds prep and other family stuff that's going on as well for him. Mm-hmm. So that sort of let Elliot off the leash a little bit then. He was in control clearly at Halifax. We talked about that. And then again, West London was out front.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
To be fair. Again, we've just talked about how good Zach is, and the same applies to Elliot as well. What he does with a race car and the control and poise he has over something moving that quick. And West London can be quite tricky, and the Avalon Shell, and I should have said the same for stock, it's tricky to drive. Stock, it's tricky to drive. Modified, it's very, very tricky to drive with that much power. And there were so many times, even for a driver of his skill level, was catching his car, but it's like it's almost like, he can see it happening and then goes back in time to correct it before the car gets out of control. So there was times he came off the middle, you come around the sweeper and then you come inside, then you go back down the short chute, and he had the car up on 2 wheels a few times from his launch off the curb, just on the rear wheels. And how he keeps under control, I don't know. But, he'd done the championship really, but it's like they said, there was no pressure. So he just drove as fast as he bloody well could. And literally drove the wheels off the thing. And there were some good drivers there as well. Obviously, Chris was putting up a good show for him as well, with Pete Eagles, Matt White, and Joe Richardson, who was over from Hong Kong.
Yeah, good to see Joe back over racing again in the UK.
Yeah. So he was back over doing a bit of that, hoping to do a bit more. And if you don't see, we'll plug there as well. He does a lot of YouTube videos as well at the moment on the car chassis and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So he enjoyed it. There was a few people making their first day finals as well. But yeah, the star of the show was Elliot Harper by quite a margin. It was comfortably under control from the start of practice all the way to the end of the finals. Yeah. It's superb.
So well done. And that gives Elliot also another national championship.
It does.
And I can tell you it's not 14 for him, because as we discussed when we interviewed him, he hasn't actually won an awful lot of championships. So
no.
But I think that's now 3 in a row since kind of the post-COVID period, and since the return to racing. One thing that we didn't plan to talk about, but you mentioned it there, so I think it's worth us touching on, is the Avalon body shell. I mean, we're doing an RC podcast, so we have to talk about the Avalon body shell, because every other podcast talks about it for some reason, whether they're talking about on-road or off-road stuff.
True.
This was obviously the first time it was used or allowed to be used at a UK race under our homologation process. And I think that reflects what we'd sort of heard from the guys in Europe who'd run it, that, quite clearly it is faster. As we've said on this podcast, it meets all the rules. Well done to the Avalon team. They've done a great job of understanding the rules and making a body shell that works, maximizes all of those. But I think I haven't actually used one yet, because my plan is to go and test it in the next few weeks, ready for Ada, where we can use it there as well. It's difficult to drive, isn't it?
The overwhelming feedback from everyone that's got the thing on the car is, I hate it. The car feels horrible to drive. It feels broken. but if you don't put it on, you're not fast. And when I said about the incidents that were taking place, this is stock and modified, is you watch these cars and they'd all go herring into a corner, and for some bizarre reason, that one of them would arrive at a corner, mid-corner, and it'd just let go. It'd give up on them, or they'd have to change the way they were driving onto the straight with the power, not come off late and back on, because as soon as you transitioned it, the rear would go. But most of the incidents taking place with the cars just letting go on full load, and the drivers say they don't like it. They don't like it. They would rather, and the interesting one here was they were saying they would rather it was banned. If it was banned, we wouldn't have to run the body shell. But they know if the guy next to them, certainly all the fast guys, is running the thing, they've got to put it on. Apart from Zach Finley. He didn't run one, but he hated it. He went back and had his Wolverine on, but that was from practice a few weeks ago. Billy also did not run one. He ran the Zenith, but it seems the characteristics of the Irish chassis didn't like the Avalon shell at all. It was just all nose-endy. And it doesn't seem to be nose-endy on the other chassis at all. It does provide more traction, but there is this risk it lets go. Yeah. And you saw a lot of that at the weekend. And a lot of your lower heats, there was a few drivers that advised to change the shell because they had the Avalon on because they saw others with on, and it's like they were then on the Wolverines. It's like put Speciale on and do yourself a favour, get around the racetrack for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
It is, but where does it go? I mean, there's no reason to ban it because it passes every technical compliance, and you can't just ban things because you don't like them or don't agree with them. That's not the correct way to do things. I mean, it's ugly. In some people, I mean, but weirdly, I'd say I don't have a massive issue with the way it looks. I think it's different. It's kind of cool. I mean, we sort of talked before. I mean, in my mind, none of them look like a car in inverted commas, but they're all there to be race cars. So I think it's interesting. So it's innovative.
I mean, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah.
And if we don't, as we said before, if we don't innovate, we die. Now, there might be ways to correct it if you work on it. There's definitely enough space for lots of sponsors on the bonnet.
Yeah.
By quite some margin, but I know the drivers aren't. If the drivers aren't keen on it, so if you all don't like it, don't run it. Yeah. But you're putting it on for a reason because it's quick. It complies. Yeah. It is innovative. The Zenith. We should talk a bit more about the Zenith as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because let's switch back quickly to ETS then, because the Zenith made an appearance on most of the stock cars in the morning, and like it did at Appledorn, the same as it did on all the modified cars. And then after a few practice rounds, stock had binned it, and they were back on Wolverines again. Modified stayed with the Zenith.
Almost everyone stayed with the Zenith.
Almost everyone, yes. But the top boys all had one on the car. Did Ronald have one?
Ronald changed back to the lens body for the finals.
Was that the Ghibli?
The Ghibli 3.0, which is very similar, for legal reasons, not similar to the Twister Speciale. And I think there was at least one other person that was running a Speciale in the A final, at least for the second and third legs, I think. So
I did check Lauters because he's been seen to run a Wolverine, isn't he, quite regularly? Did he go with it or not?
He's not run a Wolverine. He has Wolverine stickers on body shells, which actually takes me back to, and this is a good reminder. And if we ever talk to Chris Granger again, he'll tell these stories of back in the day when you had like the Protoform Stratus and Vectra and Alpha. They would regularly put the different stickers and headlights onto the other body shells because there weren't massive differences between them.
Just to make people think you're running something else. Yeah.
You go, oh, he's running a Stratus, and actually he's not. So a little bit of creative license there. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think what it seems is the Zenith does seem to be I think one of the teams described it quite well to me, which was it's a Speciale with a body kit on it. So it's some extra fins and a bit more downforce. The question is whether that downforce is in the places that people expect it to be. So I think there's a lot. The weird thing was, I think a lot of people at ETS didn't run one, particularly in the lower heats of modified, because I had one ready, but I never put it on the car on the basis that I'm learning an awful lot at the moment still with it. I know how the Speciale works and feels and should feel, so I don't want to. You're going into an ETS race where you've got 4 rounds of practice and that's it. You don't want to lose a run really just going, I want to try this body shell, when it's sort of you're just kind of guessing a bit with it at that stage. So I would expect over the next few races, obviously we've seen from ETS now as well that they're not going to allow the Avalon for modified for Andanak either. So I think that's an interesting approach that they're taking there. And again, that is based on that feedback from the drivers, and the mod guys were saying the same things. I understand to the ETS crew is like, the thing with the Avalon is it's faster, so if we're allowed it, we're going to have to run it. But it does make the cars really difficult to drive, and there is perhaps something to be said in that space, which is if you're allowing it, then people are going to feel the need to run it. And maybe it's not the top guys we need to worry about, but it is the people from the B, C, D, E, F finals who are going to feel like they need to put the car on and have some big accidents with it, or cause some big accidents because they have a random spin in the middle of the track and cause a pile up sort of thing. So I think that's the sort of frame to have a think about it through. But it'd be really interesting to see what happens. I know that there are people looking at the rule book at the moment. And again, I want to emphasize this isn't a case that we want to find a way to ban the Avalon body shell. This is, we can see the direction this is going in and the direction it could keep going in, unless we can sort of find a way to either limit it and box it into the Avalon, or even go back a step and say, that's pushed it too far, we need to reset the rules a bit. So
it's also worth pointing out here is that these decisions were taken in conjunction with the designers of the Avalon shell as well.
Yep.
It wasn't just you've been too innovative here, get lost. They had a good conversation. I think they put out a statement as well about it as well, and they were supportive of the same thing as well. They want everything to be shown in the best possible light, and there are many scenarios where the body shell works really, really well. I know we don't really talk about it, but you saw like the Masters and the shell was on a stock car there, that one, and it looked just fine. And I think in the higher grip conditions, I think when it's a bit more stable, it seems to be fine. But in the medium to lows, it's more challenging. Yeah. That's not to say there isn't a solution to go forwards for it, and I don't want to see things banned because people don't like them. It's not innovative. But I'm sure there's a middle ground there that someone will find somewhere along the way, and someone else will come out with something similar in between, and we'll all be on that, and it will change again. Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens. It's, as you say, innovation is always a good thing. We want to see what companies are doing. We want to see people continue to develop things, because otherwise things just stand still. So I guess we'll watch this space and see what happens for the rest of the year anyway.
Should we take a short break there?
Yeah, so that wraps up all the outdoor stuff. We've got some indoor stuff to talk about next, haven't we?
Let's do that next. We'll be right back.
This is the Bent Chassis Podcast, and now you've had your little break, it's back to Martin and Ollie.
Okay, so let's get on to the indoor season, and we are getting ready to gear up for that, and you boys are definitely getting ready to gear up for that, because ETS, you launched EWS Merc.
Yep.
And I took a picture and posted something on Facebook, which hasn't happened for a long time. Even though as many people messaged me to see, I say I'd actually posted something on Facebook, because I don't really do that as much. And it was that brilliant T-shirt that Dougal was wearing that just said, "I'd rather be at RugRacers EWS Merc." And I thought that was brilliant. So what's the story behind this Merc sheet with the cheap discount commentary and whatnot's going on, and cool potatoes, was it?
Yeah, so it kind of came from, I think it was either an April Fool's post or a random one that I think Dougal was actually playing around with on Facebook, where it was like, let's put some slogans on T-shirts as a joke, and it seemed to get some really good traction. And we sort of sat there and thought, is there something in this one to sort of, everyone's like, well, what can I wear at a racetrack that's a bit funny, a bit tongue in cheek? I think we like the fact that we don't take ourselves that seriously, and racers don't. We don't want racers to take things too seriously as well. So it was the chance for us to sort of go, what do we think makes EWS special, and then give people the chance to have a T-shirt to show it off. So it's 5 designs we've done so far. So we've got I'd rather be at RugRacers, because quite frankly all of us definitely would, because we haven't got to lug all the carpet around and let you lot do that.
Yeah. I want the reciprocal of that, by the way.
Oh yeah, we can sort that one out. The one we did based off of we know how difficult it can be to get entries and how popular we are on that side in the past years, which we really appreciate. So the I love EWS, purely coincidence if this gets me an entry t-shirt. So I think those ones have been selling really quickly straight away as we lead up to the entries opening. Close potatoes, which is one of the phrases that we've ended up using in commentary for no apparent reason. It doesn't mean anything at all, but it's something that we just love using, and it's become a bit of an in joke amongst EWS. What else have we got? I'm only here for the life-changing prizes.
That's brilliant. That one, yeah.
Take a Dougal catchphrase there off of the wonderful raffle that we have.
Does it have the TM next to that as well?
It does indeed. It does indeed have the trademark on there.
Excellent.
So that is going to be the trademarked one, and yet the one that I was wearing on the weekend, which was World Class Racing cut price commentary, in a kind reference to everyone's view that I am a cut price Scotty, and Scotty loved that as well.
Well, we have a jingle for that as well, so expect that we're going to put that in there. Actually, hang on, just pause for 1 second. Let's have a...
Now, a bit more from a cut price Scotty, that's Oli Meggitt, and a cut...
Yeah, I reckon I can fit that in there.
Yep, that works. We've made a little online shop for it. You can find it through our Facebook page. If you want to go and grab a t-shirt, and we get them all printed up. They get delivered directly to you, so you haven't got to worry about that. You haven't got to collect them from EWS or anything like that. So if you order it online, it just comes straight to your door, and you can wear it. They're nice white colour t-shirts as well, so perfect for the last couple of rounds of the summer racing, and then you can bring it indoors and get it nice and grubby when we go into carpet racing.
Sounds good. Should we talk more about the carpet racing then?
Let's talk about the actual stuff that really matters. Yeah,
let's talk about stuff that matters. So we are very much deep into it.
We are indeed.
Dates. We both put our dates out now.
Yep.
We're on 3 rounds. We know that, and obviously we've got you've got 5, and then the very much look forward to EWS International.
Yeah.
So that's 6 for you guys.
Yep. And it's been really good. I suppose the most important thing is hopefully people have gathered this by now, but kind of us working together. We are 2 separate series, but we recognise that we want to try and keep things aligned as we can for racers. So it's really good that we share all that information, share our dates and stuff like that. So hopefully we've got a good calendar there for people to go and race at, and also made it easier for other clubs up and down the country as well to kind of look at that and work things out around it too. So we hope that works for people, and you're going to be able to join us at as many events as possible.
Fingers crossed. And in the interest of cooperation as well, it's probably worth touching on the front-wheel drive speed controller situation and how much work has gone in behind the scenes. I think we posted a while ago, because obviously we've been using the club to test various different versions of software and speed controls. Everything seems to be going very well so far. You had meetings with Hobby Wing as well at the weekend.
Yep.
Hopefully they went well.
Yeah, so really say thank you to Hobby Wing. Obviously, we recognised the issues that were there last winter, certainly towards the end of the winter, and Hobby Wing sort of been working to try and understand that. Also, thanks to Pete Winton and David Gale over in the UK here for helping us try and get an understanding of what's going on. That's been really helpful. Hobby Wing have kind of also taken that set of data as well. So the firmware and the latest V2 version of the Just Stock ESC seem to have everything kind of sorted out. So we are definitely keeping on top of that over these next few weeks. That now looks like that's the solution, which is hopefully the best solution we can have for all the racers. We're certainly going to keep watching it, and we're not going to sort of say that's done and dusted now. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Hobby Wing are keen to kind of stay in contact as well, and let's just over the next. But certainly as we move up towards the races, indoor races getting started, we'll be in a strong position to say, we know exactly what we're doing, and hopefully everyone is well sorted ahead of the kickoffs in October for both of us.
Yeah, and for those of you that have still got the original one, do recommend the 07 firmware. That seems to have made a massive difference. I think I've heard of maybe 1 or 2 since, but we're talking about 1 or 2 since that firmware's been out. And before that, I could have pulled aside 1 or 2 people a week at a race meeting without having the problems. So there's obviously a massive improvement there. We'll keep monitoring it. We're going to carry on working. We've already got stuff, and you've already said Peter and Windy are super involved in this as well. We've got a lot more testing. We're going to put a lot more miles on the speed controllers and between now and before running then, just to keep getting as much data as we can, hopefully get the best solution for all of our drivers.
Yeah, definitely. That's the way forward. And I think that's been a really good example of collaboration between everybody there. So between us, as you say, the guys from David doing certainly all that testing on the speedos, and actually was another one I sent off to him just last week as well to check some more things out and get some more tests that he's got to do on that one, to really try and this is, let's belt and braces this now as well, but also absolutely hobbying for being really cooperative and understanding the issues that are there, and wanting to find a solution for the racers too.
So obviously, while we're talking about front wheel drive, it probably won't come as much of a shock that we're both going to run front wheel drive again this winter.
Yep.
I mean, we talked about the numbers last year as well. I mean, front wheel drive is absolutely huge for us. It is our biggest enter class next to stock and then modified. I think that's probably going to be the same this winter. I'm assuming class-wise, if there's anything you want to say there, but we are going to stick with stock and modified as well. There will be the 3 classes we run again this year. We'll probably do modified like we did last year as well. It will probably be an invite only. We'll have to look at that, what it looks like when the entries come in, and then make those decisions accordingly, because we are still limited for space. Which is horribly frustrating for us. But, there's other things we'll talk about later on that could change.
Same for EWS. So same 3 classes last year, 17.5 class, which is our stock class, with the sort of the motor list. So everyone can choose the motor they want. I think as in previous years, again, we're going to freeze those lists ahead of the season. So everyone can find the motor they like and have not to worry about if any new motors come out during the year. They're not going to be allowed. You've got the security that the one that you're happy with and the one you've been testing with is going to be the same through the season as well. So that's always been something that I think racers have really liked, and it's always been really positive feedback. So happy to kind of make sure we do that as well. But actually, it's a year not really of many changes. We're going to continue with the same tyres as well. So the Ride TR09 in the front wheel drive class, and the Rush was it 30 CPM in the touring car classes. So I think those worked well for us, worked well for racers, not only at our tracks but also at club races too. So that's our plan, to stick with them for the moment.
Are we a new generation at the moment where we just seem to all be loving race tyres?
Well, it's weird, isn't it? Tyres is the thing racers have always moaned about, and we seem to be finding tyres that everyone's fairly happy with right now. So that's.
There was even discussed at the weekend at the Nationals as well. Do you think they'll run this tyre again next year? And I'm thinking, you'd be mad not to, right?
Yeah.
Why would you not resubmit this tyre? And who wouldn't be voting for that now? Because it's been superb this year. And then, as we've just said here, we're running the TR09, the tyre that we developed together a couple of years ago to replace the one that was going out. And then the Rush tyres as well, that everybody loves indoors, and you get a lot of good runs out of them as well. Fantastic. And on top of that, of course, we're going to bolt the same additive to everything.
So it should be, nice and easy. Turn up and go racing again as you were doing last year. So, really trying to make it easy. And, both of us, how have we got to that point? Obviously, there's a huge amount of work from both of our teams that go on behind the scenes to check all this stuff, talk through all the different options. You and I both talking to multiple manufacturers through, well, pretty much year round. It's not a case of even waiting until the end of the last season. It's it's conversations always going on, but also it's about the conversations we have with drivers through the year, both at the indoor races and then during the summer as well, and kind of really understanding the feedback from them. We don't operate with sort of voting process and things like that, but it's about us talking to drivers and then using that info and making the right decisions for what we think is going to make our series ultimately as popular as possible, and hope that is going to be the case again this year.
I hope so as well. The other carpet series as well, they've announced they're going back to the Rush tyres as well.
Yep.
Carpet Legends. So, how good's that for a racer? You can turn up to 3 different race meetings on 3 different Sundays, and you could pretty much run the same set of tyres for all of them.
Yeah. And by the sounds of it, I think pretty much everything else the same as well, because they're going to run a front-wheel drive class and certainly a stock class as well. So you'll have the same car, same motor, same everything that you're running at all 3 tracks then.
All 3 tracks, yeah. So less voodoo stuff to carry around and less tyres to carry around. So if you're a racer, certainly in the south at least, unfortunately no MICC at the moment. you got a spoil for choice. And in between that, you can come to our club on a Saturday and practice with them tyres as well.
Yep. So, what are we looking forward to then? What do we think is going to happen on the track?
Oh, when you say what do we think is going to happen on the track, are we talking about the early people that we think could win, or the competition?
Let's start off. What are you looking forward to by the time it's only 3 months away now, isn't it, till we get back racing on carpet?
It is.
I know what I'm not looking forward to, which is rolling the carpet out every time again. But what are we looking forward to from the events?
I've got a lot of new equipment coming, more cameras coming, which both of us will be benefiting from, of course.
Yep.
We're upgrading quite a lot of our other equipment as well, and the AV stuff around that. Of Dougal's help on the side, and that's another great example. People won't know about that kind of cooperation we have between the teams as well. Is Dougal's, he's a bit of a legend. He knows a bit about audio. So he's been helping us out there with changing up some of the system there and the way we do things and making our lives easier, because pulling cables back and rolling them up is a massive pain in the arse. So some of the solutions you guys have come up with is going to help us. So there's the technical aspect. I'm looking forward to doing more on the media side this winter. I won't be racing. The only event I'm racing at is Carpet Legends, but I will be doing media pretty much all of the winter. So we want to keep focusing on that and keep showing everyone what we're doing, because the engagement we've got everywhere over winter has been great, and it's also helped with the sponsorship as well this winter as well. So
absolutely, I think it's definitely worth saying thanks to all the companies that are sponsoring any of the series. Whatever you're doing to support and sponsor series is always greatly appreciated, because it just these events take a huge amount of effort, resource, and ultimately cost as well. And
yes, they do.
That can't all be recovered from just entry fees and stuff like that alone. So we do rely on that support we get from sponsors, whatever that looks like, and then in turn things like raffle prizes and people contributing to the raffles as well, just to help us really make sure those things happen. Because yes, of course we can run use one of those, a cut price race meeting, but that's not how we like to do things. And races like, I think, the events that we all worked on over the years and really kind of developed and put together in the way that we do our races in different ways, and bring some different things to races as well.
I mean, it helps subsidise everything. We've decided to hold the prices this year. We will, as I'm gonna say, as a business, because we're not a business, but you have to analyse the numbers in a business sense, because they've got to work. It's got to be worth it. And we're looking at like 4% on everything from what we spent last year going up. But we held the prices again, and the sponsors have helped with that this year as well. I'm not going to say we won't have to do something next year, but this year we've been able to hold them again, which was very, very difficult to do. The margins aren't great, but for that we still hope to put on really, really good events for the same kind of money. So looking forward to that when we get going.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you looking forward to?
Be honest, I'm really looking forward to watching the racing on the track again. I think it's been really great that we've had so many drivers supporting our events, both RugRacers and EWS, over the last few years as well. I'm kind of sort of, there wasn't a reset, but a bit of a reset in that COVID time as well. And kind of since then, I think it's been a bit of a new drive from both our sides to kind of really start pushing things in new directions and doing more things with the events that we're doing. And it's really nice to sort of see that being reflected in the way people are on the track as well and racing. And that's not just at the top end of the racing, it's all the way through the finals and all the qualifying heats as well. People who are, wanting to be there, wanting to be part of those events. And that atmosphere is something that is really kind of quite special. And I think it's the point where you come away and sort of go, yeah, that was a good event, and really pleased that people have come here and enjoyed their Sunday, and really appreciate that people are spending their time and money to come and be part of those events.
And those people at the end that walk around and thank all the team members for all that stuff over the day, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it is greatly appreciated as well.
Absolutely.
Everyone likes a pat on the back, and they are all working so hard to put these events together.
It's a huge amount of work, and I know people see us two sitting there on the podcast like this, or doing a lot of the announcing and the drivers' briefings and things. But there's so many people within each of the teams that give so much time up in so many different ways that people wouldn't even think about stuff that goes on there. That it's crazy things like for both our sides trying to get the halls booked out at the right times and speak to the people there and be able to negotiate the right be able to negotiate the rates on the hall as well, so that again we can keep it as affordable as possible. How do we get all the right equipment there? Have we got all the right equipment? What stuff needs replacing? Not just the obvious stuff like carpet and corner markers, but small things like network cables, timing loops, scoreboard power cables, those things that you don't ever think about. Credit card machine to do the raffle money and stuff. It's crazy things like that don't cross people's mind. Even having like books of raffle tickets there. That's stuff that someone's got to think about and make sure is there.
I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say there hasn't been an occasion where someone suddenly realised on Friday night we didn't have any of those and they were ordered by Amazon to be arriving in the morning. But that now I've got an interesting question for you, is because for me we've got the club and we talked about the fact that we test tyres, test software, and do a lot of the on-road testing on a Saturday at the club or a Friday when we're lucky enough to have the hall. But also I'm testing equipment all the time in the background as well. Everything that we've rolled out has been dry run at a club meeting. Not necessarily everyone's seen it going on. Like one running up, like people will come over and wonder why the hell there's 3 computers there and 4 decoders and stuff like that. And while we've put 4 loops under the carpet because they're all saying testing something. But, I get the advantage of doing that beforehand. So you don't, right? So you literally turn up and put it down on the Saturday and you're testing it if you do something new on the Saturday evening, hoping it's going to be okay.
I'm going to say no. We never do that. There's a few things that we'll do, and this is where I'm really fortunate to also work with the ETS crew and the ENS crew as well. So if there's updates to things like the timing software and stuff like that, actually we've run parallel stuff at an ENS race or an ETS race for a day or half a day with Hartmut and tested stuff out there. Fun enough, even like the last week I've been contacting the guy who writes my RCM software for some little changes and tweaks on that for both the online stuff and the race control type stuff as well. So that stuff like that is always happening, and we know that that's kind of there before we get to the day. And then I will do the really sad thing of about a month before our first event, we're going to sit down and we're going to build race control in someone's living room and run the stuff that we think we want to run and make sure everything is working again. Anything new we've got there, we'll test it. And then as we go through the season, if there's things that we want to change, what we'll always try and do is, we run with basically a full one race software and one race laptop and decoder as our master that everyone sees, but then there's always a slave sitting there as well, which we can use as a backup if we get mislaps and things like that. But that's then got a separate decoder, separate timing loop, and separate laptop. So if we need to test anything out during the season as well, we've always got that opportunity at the previous round to kind of go, right, we think we want to change that. We'll run that on the backup for this race and check it all works and things like that as well. Looking forward to doing that in probably about a month's time. Got to sit down and fake a race meeting for a day.
But that's no insignificant undertaking. And as I was saying about what goes on, it's not just the Saturday and the Sunday, it's everything you do before that. And even like the first time we came down and did the video last year, and we were down there testing all the stuff, and then you need the people to know the right stuff, and Mark Southgate does all your tech stuff down there. Unfortunately, we both work in the same industry, same field as well. So when we were talking about, we found a problem, we'd need to make a change on the firewall, which would mean changing the software. It's like, you can't do this on a Sunday, can't do this on a Saturday night for fear of what goes on Sunday morning. So all these things you have to test and do, and I do a lot of them on the Saturday at the club, but then I suddenly find that happens regularly is I'm not racing. I'm just using that as a test. And normally the first test for most of it is happening here where I'm sitting in my office. We get the equipment wired in here and check things are working. I'd love to find the video of it, but at one point we were testing all the decoders. I wired up a load of decoders, put them on a train set, and had the train going around over the loop, making sure everything was working, which was quite cool. I tried to find the video for that one, but these are probably childish ways to test stuff, but they certainly take up time.
Funnily enough, you mentioned that. I don't know if you've ever been to the MyLabs office in Netherlands.
I haven't, but Robin van Gogh works for them.
He does.
Mhm.
They have got exactly that. They have got a train set up in their office,
Really?
and that is exactly how they test all their transponder stuff.
Oh, I wonder if that's a double O or an N-gauge one. Hey, is that a bit too geeky? I'm going to ask Robin about that now.
Up there somewhere is some of my old model train stuff. So I had a whole double O gauge rail set.
Yeah, me too. And it had been in the cupboard for a good 20 odd years until I was using it. It was a few years ago now to test all the decoders. We're working on the new stuff. Insightful geekiness.
Indeed.
So what else have we got to look forward to? So obviously the racing. That's always the highlight. Is the racing.
Yeah.
Crowning the champions at the end of it. That's always the racing. My favourite is always the up and comings, the drivers that. And that's another episode as well. Probably is not so much who we expect to see at the front, because I don't see the front names don't change much. It's always the same.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, but every now and then there's a driver that breaks into that group, and then maybe they stay there, maybe they move forwards, and I'm always looking for that next one. Not necessarily as in the top, but has made that jump from like the E to the D to the C quite quickly.
Yeah,
and see where they go. Those are the ones I look forward to.
Yeah, and hopefully people enjoy that, and then there's something for everybody to kind of race for as well. And that's definitely all of our styles. Is not just we'll only announce the A final sort of thing. Providing commentary for every race all the way through that, and trying to make every race feel like it matters to people.
It does, because not everyone's at the front of the A. Scotty said that right when he was on. Don't phone it in.
Yep.
We try not to as well. We're trying to add some extra people on as well for race control this year to help with that. We're quite lucky actually. We've had a few more people pick up commentary over winter, so we'll probably let them loose on the microphone, so you might hear other tones as well over the winter as well, and hopefully that's going to add something else to everything as well, so it's not just the beep 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 or the doo-doo when you're not improving. I think we turned them off actually. Yeah, we did. I turned them off because I remember someone asking about why they're not on. So it was irrelevant. We're round by round now.
Yeah,
they don't do anything. The only thing I do want to focus more on is, because of the track, is making sure that we call cars as finished. Because I think there was a few times that someone had finished and the car's still on a run behind them and they don't know they've finished. So I'll probably focus on those little things, just the small details, because we're not perfect. We don't get everything right. We're always learning, and just trying to pick up on these little bits and pieces as we go along. But everything else should be pretty much as it was. Yeah.
Actually, that's one thing we are going to change, which we came up with on this podcast.
Yes.
We are gonna do some form of virtual drivers briefings beforehand.
I am as well. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing. We discussed that. I'm going to record that here in the studio with the green screen up, and because we've got the screens around the thing, right, and we're already broadcasting the video to them like last year.
Yeah.
So we're going to just broadcast the briefing, because the somewhat ironic part, I don't know why, the guys are terrified of the computer. It's probably the same for you right in the morning. You're the one that does the initial setup after practice and does the check-in. And the guys are great at doing it all around the club. But as soon as it comes to that, they panic about putting something around the wrong place. But then I have to do the briefing, and that takes 10 minutes. And setting up the reading, checking that takes 10, 15. So I want to get some time back, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to roll the VT. While that's running, everything should be checked, and then we can hopefully get started a bit earlier and save ourselves some time over the course of the day, and we don't have to repeat the same thing that everybody else has heard numero uno times.
Exactly, yeah. We're gonna work out exactly what we want to do with our briefing and stuff. We think, there's probably something that we'll do still at trackside in some way, just to remind people of stuff that, as ever, stuff that changes each round that's important. But all the core rules and stuff like that. That's all the stuff that you want in the video piece. So exactly what we said. Let's gain some time back so we can have more time on the track. Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that I can increase practice time by doing that as well. Get it to 5 minutes from the 4 that we currently run. And it's just little details like that. It is 11 minutes of track time, and if I can save 15 minutes from doing the high vis clipboard part of the operation, then all the better. But just make sure we got the important details in there. I just want to know really if there's a fire, people can get out the door quickly. Yeah, absolutely. And I know everyone's waiting for our side. We haven't yet announced all the EWS International stuff. I suppose at high level, expect the same as we've had in previous years. There'll be a few small tweaks just around the time schedule. Again, we want to get as many people racing as we can for that one. But broadly speaking, again, I think it's worked well the last couple of years. We're really happy with that, and we want to keep things going in the same direction.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's happening, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Half the conversations for drivers we left because we weren't going to be at Andenac was, I will see you at EWS International. And that was our international friends saying, I will see you at EWS International. So
we're really hoping we get a good contingent. And I think it's, from our side, it's really nice that, what we've realised is that there's plenty of those, well, not plenty, there are a number of large international races across Europe that people recognise and want to go to, whether that's one of the ETS races, whether it's been things like the DHI Cup, the LRP Masters, the GP3F, the Meebo Sport race, and the Czech Masters races, those sorts of races that kind of really do attract those international crowds. And we haven't had those in the UK for, we think, quite a long time in the on-road market. And we're really pleased that what we think we've established now is something where it is a genuine international level event, and you get people, not just the pro guys again we're talking about here, we're talking about people all the way through the field that want to come and be part of this as well, and make a trip over to the UK, maybe not every year, but once every other year or something like that. And I think last year we got up to nearly over 20% of the drivers were from outside the UK, so it'd be really cool just to get up to a full quarter of drivers, at least this time being from overseas, and come over and challenge the people in the UK. Come and have some, as they probably say, some warm beer, and experience our wonderful cuisine in the UK as well.
Especially Martin, Appledorn chairman.
Yes,
he's larger than life. He loves it, doesn't he? I'll see you at International. Yeah, absolutely, we will. Had some good battles with him over the years as well.
We'll have to get you to race again at that one.
Well, the International.
Yeah,
I won't have time.
We'll make time.
How? I'm going to spawn another person in as well to help.
Or get Ethan to mechanic your car for you.
Oh, no, I'm not going, so I don't trust him. I'm just thinking if that's viable. Maybe we'll see.
There you go. Something to think about.
Something to think about.
You've got a couple of months.
Yeah, but my focus there is, we want to do as much for the video as we did last year.
Yeah, that's definitely been a key part, and it's been really good to have racing lines to do the live streaming. And we're happy that we're going to be doing every round this year for EWS as you did last year. So
look forward
really
to
cool.
that. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
What else have we got going on there then? Challenges. I'm good.
I think we're pretty good at the moment. I think we're never going to sit here certainly and say that we're expected to be fully booked out. It's wonderful that we have been the last few years, but we never take any of that for granted. So the only challenge may well be that we might be pretty full. As always, I think both of us want to get as many people racing as we can do, and I think that's a real key part of it. So I think that's the one challenge that we'll always have is trying to accommodate as many people as possible. We want to make sure we've got sensible timetables, got as much track time for everybody, but also get as many people racing as we can. So that's the challenge we got.
Yeah. What else have we got really? I'll just mention, of course, because we was all keenly watching Carpe Legends run a 2-day event. A couple of weekends ago at ETS. That seemed to go well. The same kind of core drivers that have supported them as well, but it was good to see somebody else having a go at doing something different as well. From all accounts, that seemed to go off very well. So congratulations to them on running that.
Yeah. And anything else on your side that might be new?
Yes. Should we do it now?
Let's do it now. Let's
do it now. So based on this is an idea that's at the very, very advanced stages now of so this isn't exclusive, I suppose.
No.
Based on the number of front wheel drive entries we've had and talks with manufacturers and some of our international front wheel drive friends as well, we are provisionally looking to run a 2-day front wheel drive only event at our place, which will be looking at probably the end of March or early April.
Fantastic.
What we're looking to do there at the moment is, we need to make sure the numbers are going to work. There's no point in running into this thing with pride or arrogance that everything goes well. Is that we will release a form shortly, which will be like a pre-booking form, and we'll take a small deposit of £5 or something like that, which will be deducted off the final entry fee. And then, if we reach the target numbers we need to reach for the event, we will. If the numbers are anything like what booked in for RugRacers last year, then that'd be fantastic, and we'll have a really good event. And there's a lot of top front wheel drive races out there. Some others, that run touring car at our events only that really want to do front wheel drive as well. So it's a chance for them to, just park up and just do the fronty for the weekend and bring all the best drivers we can from all over the place together and have one big shootout on what I think is probably one of the best surfaces to do it on as well. And the size of the track is perfect for that.
Your track size is absolutely perfect front wheel drive, and we see every time at RugRacers some fantastic racing in that class in particular. So yeah, that's a really exciting event. And we talked earlier about a bit of a regrowth in front wheel drive we've sort of seen across the nationals. It's always been strong through the winter period. So
very
having that as a I guess the winter season closer then for everybody as well before they think about going outdoors should be a really great way to round things off. So fingers crossed, everyone gets themselves signed up for that one, and look forward to being involved in that somehow as well. I'm sure.
Well, you are. I mean, the idea goes back a while, doesn't it? I mean, we did some press PR shots all the way back in Down.
Yeah.
So we will be bringing, we will bring in the voice of Oli and Dougal in there as well, and just blending what I think is probably some of the best parts.
Yeah.
Of EWS into it as well, and I hope it reaches the numbers we want it to reach, and it is successful. And we'll go from there. We've got international drivers that are looking to come over for that as well, that were keenly tapping up asking for announcements on this at the weekend. So here it is. The form will come out, but the only other thing is we just got to discuss our entries for RugRacers. We've pushed ours. I think I'd already announced they'll go up in a couple of weeks, opening, and then the last part is obviously when you guys are opening yours.
So ours is going to open this weekend. So check the info. It's all on our Facebook page. So whilst the Euros is going on at Luxembourg, that'll be our entry window for EWS. We're going to do the same thing that we've done in previous years, where we leave it open for it's about three and a half days. So enter during that time, and then we close the entries. Look at all of the entries we've had through. Try and set our class limits and everything like that in line with that, and then get back in touch with people and let you know if you've been successful. Trying to get as many people in to race as many rounds as we can do. So all the info on that is on our Facebook page. So probably, in fact, as this is going out, it should be about the time it's opening up, I think, as well. So check that and get your entries in.
Oh, cool, fantastic. We do the same, obviously, with the entries we did last year. Ours are open for a week, based on the fact I'm going on holiday. So it just seems a good idea. We'll open them before I go away, and then as I come back, and then the day after I'm back off holiday, we'll sit down and we'll work out and get the emails out very, very quickly. So looking forward to getting that done. I think that's all the big news.
It is indeed, yeah. So does that wrap things up for this episode of the Bench Chassis on Road podcast? Then I think we've looked at Slovakia, we've looked at West London, we've looked ahead to when things get a bit cool and we go back indoors as well.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's really much more to add other than if you're still here listening, thank you very much. Thank you for your kind comments as well, and your constructive feedback as well. On occasion, it doesn't go unnoticed, and sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't, but we persist.
Absolutely, we're still going to be here until someone stops the internet.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah,
take us out.
Well, that's everything then. Thank you very much for joining us for episode 15 of the Bench Chassis On Road podcast. Stay tuned. We are hoping to have something quite special in the next few weeks. One way or another, we're going to get something very special out there with some really cool guests as well. So keep your eye out for that one. But for everything from this episode, we're going to round things off, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye for now.
Morecambe and Wise, Cannon and Ball, Hinge and Bracket, Mitchell and Webb, Derek and Clive, Mel and Sue, Tango and Cash. All great pairings, but here's one of the best pairings you'll never ever want to hear. It is Oli Meggitt and Martin Southall with the Bench Chassis podcast. Needs a bit of work.
Fast laps, clean lines, that's how we go. Thanks for tuning in to the Bench Chassis on Road podcast show.